everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, evil politicians all over the world. But today I thought we'd focus on a man who's been in the news quite a bit recently and doing a bit is Sadiq Khan. Now, the Royal Grift did post about why Trump did not want him at his state dinner when he was with the royal family. He really hates, as most everybody hates, apparently, Sadiq Khan. He's doing a horrible job destroying London. And he's also in charge of the C40 cities, which is the globalists' plan to bring in smart cities and the New World Order through the WEF via the mayors around the world. That all the mayors are doing it. They're bypassing our legal systems and our federal governments, and they're going straight to the mayors, and they're implementing all of the globalist plans of, bringing in climate change, hoax stuff, the green energy, and taking away your gas stoves and telling you can't have meat, you got to eat bugs, and all that's coming through. And here is just a clip. I'll play a couple of short clips that I found enlightening from the Royal Grifts in this video here.
To town centre teams that have, over the last year alone, reduced personal theft and personal robbery, and a big part of that is mobile
personal
phones
theft
as
is
well.
off the scale, in not just year on year, but again across the whole time of your period as mayor. And yes, I would support looking at different priorities, but the £7 million that it would cost to keep these front desks open equates to just 0.5% of your consolidated climate budget. That's why I want a different priority. I want to keep Londoners safe rather than just trying to look good in front of your C40 mates.
What's the most dangerous place?
See, notice he said, so this is the head of the police, representing the police departments there. And he makes mention that Sadiq Khan is spending millions and millions of taxpayer dollars on climate change hoax. In other words, bringing in the C40 city. And they have a website, c40.org, and you can see that Sadiq Khan is in charge. He's the leader of it, along with this Aki Sawyer from Sierra Leone. These two are in charge of bringing in the New World Order, globalist controlled Chinese Communist Party system around the world. And again, it is global. And Sadiq's in charge, so he's the main evil one in charge of this globalist agenda. And everybody knows it. And the Londoners are less safe and less safe because all their money that should be going towards a police force is going towards climate change and other globalist agendas to destroy our countries. And here's just
this. You were invited, but you didn't come. You sent your deputy to face the music rather than doing it yourself. So on that occasion, what did we have? We had silence from Sadiq. We heard an exchange earlier on to arrest a comedian for a joke. Again, you hide behind this Operation Independence. Can I finish this? You hide.
So Sadiq Khan is the head of the snake of the New World Order. He is bringing in the chaos, the violence, so that people are begging the government to do something, and then their solution will be a digital ID, as they've already mass illegal immigration coming in that they've brought upon to bring in, push people to beg for the New World Order is what's going on. And Sadiq Khan is the head of the snake. Like he's, and of course he has other mayors and evil World Economic Forum types all around the world, New York included. And they're all doing the same thing, but Sadiq is in charge. He's the head snake here. And I'm wondering, why is Sadiq so evil? We know he's evil. We know he doesn't care about people being hurt and killed and lives being destroyed. So, why is he evil? Is he just your average Satanist? I mean, how can he sit there and be so evil? Is he MK Ultra, or is he just a really diabolical evil person like Prince Harry and Tedros, who are big friends together, posing for pictures together, and what's his name? All the rest, Fauci and Bill Gates, and so I'm thinking of, and Bloomberg and all the rest of them. So I'm just going to focus on one of the heads of the snakes here, Sadiq Khan, who seems incredibly evil. Look at his lovers, merger working together. So I see this as Sadiq working with the globalists, right? He's very much one with them. And there's a surprise element. You see how this lovers, the vampire, which you can see as Sadiq, is surprising people, coming in like, I'm here out of nowhere, it seems, right? Everything's going okay. And then Sadiq arrives and suddenly all hell's breaking loose with all this, tyranny coming in. And he is just surprised, people have to figure out behind, they're complaining after the fact, but he's, doing all these things secretively. The C40 cities, they're being very secretive and underhanded and using word salad nonsense to try to make it sound, it's just like in our government, that whatever evil bill they put forward, they put a nice name on it, like Child Safety Act, which is really about incoming tyranny to make you all have to use a digital ID and give your biometrics to Silicon Valley and the tyrants there that want to bring in their AI, China's Communist Party system. So all very evil, but under the guise of we're trying to make things better and greener and net zero. Yeah. They're trying to put under all this, it's for your safety and security, like our homeland security. Yeah. Straight out of Nazi Germany, that concept of that. Anyway, so anyhow, Sadiq Khan. Why is Sadiq Khan so evil? Let's just focus on that today. And I'm using my Halloween cards. It is that time of the year. Actually, speaking of Halloween cards, before I want to use my Halloween deck, my Oracle deck. Here we go. Let's do an Oracle card for Sadiq Khan. Why is Sadiq Khan so evil? Why is Sadiq Khan so evil? Let's see. Card I get for Sadiq. Oh, the veil. I thought it said the evil, but veil and evil is an anagram of each other. So when I first looked at it, I saw the evil. He is evil. He is just pure evil. The veil, the future. Can you read that? I don't know if you can read that. It says the veil, the future. See, he's working towards New World Order, what they're trying to make for the future. And you see that blinding people. He don't want you to see what he's doing or talk about it, right? So this is the misty veil, separated world of the dead and the living. So this is about Samhain or Halloween. Fineness of the veil means ancestors are closer than ever, and even gods would be close, or they're evil demons. Communications from the dead. Communications, but in this case, not just dead, but there's my camera again. Communications with demons. I think I'm getting indications here that yes, he's pure evil, but that he's possessed. Yeah. So when the veil lifts, so he is keeping a veil, or trying to keep a veil as much as possible over everyone's eyes about, who he's, what he's really doing. Although for most people, but a lot of people, if they're not educating themselves on this topic, they're blindfolded to what he's really doing. I mean, people will just look at him and think I think more and more people are waking up to this, but I think so for a long time, people just thought he's a horrible mayor, right? Just like we thought we had these horrible mayors, which we did in Chicago and New York and Washington and everything. But now many people, the veil's lifting and they're realizing, oh, wait a minute, they're not just horrible, they're evil, and they're working for the C40 cities with the World Economic Forum. and they're purposefully being this destructive. They're not stupid, they are evil. Because, people always say don't attribute to evil what could be just from stupidity. So people always, generally will give benefit of the doubt for a certain amount of time. But I think we're beyond that time for sure. Now that we have how many comedians have to get arrested, right? Before it's like, all right, this is not stupidity. This is evil. So they really hate comedians, huh? What's the deal with comedians? You can't have any comedians in the future with his younger brainwashed generations. They have no sense of humor. And I was watching a video on YouTube where they were talking about the difference, the left and right brain, and the problem with the lefties that are so politically correct and they can't stand humor. They're too left brain thinking, right? They don't have because of their brainwashing and what the schools have done to them. They're not thinking enough with their creative right brain side, because humor is a function of the right brain, the more creative side that can make connections of things that seem unrelated, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain it. They explain it better in the video, but the point is, it's just that there's a overemphasis on the left brain, which is why they don't have a sense of humor. You know, these people that always want to take down comedians and whatnot, and tarot readers and anyone else who does anything somewhat creative that they can't handle, you know. They can't think outside the box, and they can't think philosophically, creatively. Knight of Imps reverse. See, an abusive person. Yes, Sadiq Khan is very abusive and declaring war on us. And this is him putting himself behind a wall here. So this is Sadiq. He's doing his mission for the evil globalists, and he's put a wall between himself and us because we're just slaves to them. We're nothing. We're worse than nothing. We're just specks. We're just a bunch of rodents that need to be exterminated with their mRNA injections. That's all the way they see us. That's what I'm getting from that. So the cards are showing. Look at me. It's in the cards. Anyways. Let's go here. Why is Sadiq Khan so damn evil? I'm curious. Was he naturally evil? Did he have a bad childhood? Did he not get a date in high school? Like Dr. what's his name? Dr. Zelenko. I keep screwing those two names up. Remember Dr. Zelenko? He said, we're suffering because Bill Gates couldn't get a date in high school, you know? So I'm wondering if that's Sadiq Khan's problem. Is that why? Is he's frustrated he could never date a girl, and now he's taking out his revenge, his lifelong dream to rule the world. These psychopaths to sit around, these demonically possessed psychopaths who want to control the world and torture us all, and us not be able to respond to it and fight back. And if they get this digital system, you won't be able to fight back, because then they'll just leave you to die in the streets, not being able to work or get money to do anything and pay your bills, because they'll shut you off with the push of a button, which will also happen by accident too. I mean, they've already tried this system out in India, and it was a fail, because it's always glitches, right? There's always problems. AI is not perfect, far from it. It's not a genius. It lies, it hallucinates, makes mistakes. And unfortunately, in a system like this, it makes mistakes. You don't have money to buy food, and they do nothing about it. Good luck trying to find somebody to call on the phone, right? Your phone probably won't even work anymore. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, because they block you out of everything. All right, so I digress. Sorry, Ray just pisses me. My passion here. This Sadiq is just so evil. So evil he is. Why is he so evil? Let's see. Does he enjoy being this evil? Why is he so? What's the basis of it? Did he? Now, it seems like a lot of the people coming out of the one young leader, all these one young leaders, they come out of this one school. Right, Trudeau, Jacinda Ardern, they all seem very brainwashed in MK Ultra. I assume Sadiq Khan's one of them. I mean, they all go to this brainwashing one young leader institution. They come out, these zombies, you know, that just push tyranny brainlessly and robotically, without thoughts, without any thinking whatsoever. They just keep doing it and doing it. Klaus Schwab said to do it, must do. Klaus Schwab said to do it, must do. So here we go. So we could be dealing with just a brainwashed individual. And, you know, unfortunately, the courts don't take brainwashing very seriously, and they really should, because science has advanced to the point where, as we've seen with the mRNA injections, allegedly, the whistleblowers talking about this nanotechnology in the brain and being able to influence people, torture them physically. Yeah, the graphene inside putting that inside people's bodies. Let's see here. Sadiq Khan. Why is he so evil, and how's it going to go? It's good. Thank goodness Trump is putting his foot down on him. Somebody's going to call this piece of crap out. And of course, again, he's not the only one. I'm just saying he's one of the heads of the snakes, though, for sure. What would take Sadiq out of power? What would help dismantle his power? And how is the World Economic Forum leading him? Actually, I should look at how do the people affect him? How does the population affect him? Do you give a damn about anybody? What's he hoping to do to the population, to the people? And how's it going to go in the long term for Sadiq Khan? Let's find out. I think I've shuffled enough. Sadiq Khan, why are you so evil, Sadiq Khan? Why is Sadiq Khan so evil? Let's see what the cards show. All right, first card out. Oh, look at that. Ace of Pumpkins. Money, 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 money. And of course, it's a new beginning of a new city, a new C40 city, but plenty of power. You see the hands coming out of the clouds. Is like the World Economic Forum or evil Satanist demons. Let's say the Satan himself giving. This is a deal he made with the devil. It's like, hey, Sadiq, you want to be wealthy and powerful? I can give you that. You just have to sell your soul. That's all. And murder lots of people and destroy the world. You know, this whole climate change thing, as well as everything else, these Satanists, it's all about just destroying God's creatures, God's people, and God's land. Everything God created, they're out to destroy. So it's just all satanic at the end of the day. No matter what flowery word salad nonsense. I mean, the UN is like off the charts with their word salad nonsense. And of course, Harry and Meghan perfecting that, as well as many other Satanists. But he's doing it for the money and power here for sure that he's been bestowed. And then I get 10 of Ghosts reversed. So 10 of Ghosts, like 10 of Cups reversed. And here you have a family, you have happiness when it's upright, communities that are happy and prosperous. That's what Sadiq Khan is about. He's being paid, made a deal with the devil to take down everybody, to take away everybody's happiness and everybody's family, destroy families, destroy communities, and make everybody miserable. Because reverse, everybody's unhappy in the community. And that's what Sadiq Khan is paid for and what he's makes him happy. He is definitely getting wealthy, become wealthy from this. And he expects, I believe, to have full power and control. They're all made all these promises, right? All these little C40 mayors. They think they're going to be these like world leaders at the end because they want to have it all. I guess all the cities to be the smart cities, and that'll be it. And everybody else will be moved off the land into these smart cities. And so these mayors will become the world leaders, the world leader of the first quadrant and the second quadrant, whatever they name it. So he's expecting a lot of power. Sadiq Khan he's going to be in charge of the whole quadrant of the Europe there when all is said and done. So he's expecting a lot more power he's working towards. He doesn't want to just be some little mayor. He wants to be a leader of the world, the new world order. So he's leading to his power there at the bottom of it all. 4 of pumpkins. Yes, like 4 of coins. So this is, of course, greedy. It's a very greedy card. I see it as an excess of. But you see he's planting the seeds for the future. Again, you get a future idea. Now, what he's doing now, of course, is not in and of itself what he's trying to achieve. And you see he has a little crown on his head like a king. Because that's what Sadiq Khan wants to be. He wants to be this king of UK and Europe and the world, that section of the world. And he's looking forward to the greater power of not just a mayor, but much bigger. And he's planting the seeds now of destruction in order to reach that very greedy goal. He's a very greedy man. Coins and coins. He's very greedy. Can't get enough. He wants more money. He wants more power. Well, that's all he wants. That's all he cares about. And he doesn't care who he has to kill or destroy to do it. He's on this mission. So the basis of his evil, so a lot of money here, a lot of destruction, of course, in order for to get his power. Oh, look at the Hanged Man. See, this is the hangman is looking at things from a different perspective, and also the professional victim. Like Harry and Meghan and others, he is going to pretend to be a victim of this or that. I'm sure people criticize him. I'm sure he's like, oh, you just don't like me because you're racist, right? So that's kind of the basis of it, the weapon being used, because anyone who's a professional victim is a perpetrator again and again, and this is what he is doing for sure. And also, he has a totally different perspective, right? He's not looking at the world the way you are in life. He doesn't care about your happiness, your family, or your safety. He's only concerned about the one world government here. And he's you're just some rats and vermin in the way. You just got to get rid of you and reach his goal of power, of world power, and being the king. So yeah, so he's not even, you can talk to him and complain about what's happening, and it's not registering with him because he's looking at the situation in an entirely different way, in a very diabolical, evil, satanic way. But that's the way he's doing it. He's a traitor. This is the traitor card, of course. They're all traitors to their countries. And you see the fire in the background, as the world burns to the ground. He's just hanging out, laughing about it, hands behind, like not doing anything. He's just hanging out, not doing anything. That's another way I'd see this. He's just hanging out, watching London burn. And that's what all these mayors are doing in New York and everywhere else, Chicago. Around the world, they are going to hang out and laugh while their cities burn and are destroyed and people die. So what happened before this to make him so evil? What led to him being so evil? Oh, the moon reversed, major arcana. Wow. So you can look at it secretively or excess of, but definitely with the moon, you get the idea of a man being transformed into a werewolf, right? So in this case, I would take it as a man transformed by the One Young Leader Globalist Conference up here in Switzerland. There's Switzerland up there, or you could look at that as the royal family. He's also seems to be a part of this as well. But you see this man transformed into this animal, into this beast, into this killer monster. And so I take this as secretively, like the brainwashing. So I do see this transformation that he's been put under with the moon, the psychology, someone's mind, their emotions, they're just broken down and built up again. So I do think that he has been transformed. And a major arcana is like a group activity out of his control, done to him. But, of course, willingly. I mean, nobody forced him to go through the brain. I don't know if it was One Young Leader or somewhere else, whatever. They brainwashed him for sure. They really got to him and they trained him and NK altered him or whatever they did to him. And he is transformed. He's a monster now. And, that's it. That's it. It's done. He's, unless somebody could deprogram him, he's not going to change, right? He needs to. There's been he's been transformed from what he used to be worse. He's probably bad to start with, but he's much, much worse. Now he's totally off the charts, crazy and evil. So what's he expecting from everything that he's doing? Arresting comedians. Oh, look at this. Fool reversed. I just talking about arresting comedians, and the fool you could look at as a comedian. Someone coming in and entertaining people, saying it's not so bad, we'll get through this, and kind of giving people some levity and happiness. And he wants to take them all down. Sadiq Khan hates comedians. Wow, I wish I had some jokes. If you know any jokes about him, please leave in the comments. He wants to take them all down. You know why? The worst thing you can do to a tyrant is ridicule. They cannot stand being ridiculed. And he's terrified of that. Sadiq Khan, I think, is terrified of being ridiculed and mocked and made fun of. Yeah, he couldn't handle it. That's why you didn't hear any jokes about him not being invited to the state dinner there. There should have been a lot of jokes. If there were comedians, they'd be all joking about that and making jokes, about Sadiq Khan walking up to the door and King Charles slamming it in his face. Like, You're not invited. Like, I don't know. I'm not a comedian, but I'm sure you could. There's some rich material there comedians could have worked with. Maybe they did, and I just didn't catch it. But he's terrified of that. He's absolutely terrified. So, what's the worst thing he's going to do? What's the worst thing about him? Oh, Six of Coasts or Six of Cups reversed, and there's a church in this one as well. So, of course, he is out to destroy Christianity and community and people's happiness. And, of course, children is also a card of children as well. So, the worst thing that he's going to do is the damage to the children and the brainwashing with them and the destruction of Christians in general, the Christian country, and just taking away people's happiness and their future, and erasing the past, right? They always want to erase the past. They always want to take down all the statues and try to rewrite history. And that's what he is working on. That's the most destructive thing, the long-term effects of this on the next generation. And, it's going to take so long to fix the damage they've done, even if you started right now, which they're not starting. So it's very depressing. And of course, cups is emotions, people's happiness taken away, children, things that happened during COVID that people missed. And even now, with London, it's how sad it is and how all the he's destroying everybody's happy places. People enjoy getting together and just being together and hanging out, and he's destroying it all. He doesn't want anyone happy. So taking away people's happiness, and particularly young people, is like the worst effect. He's so evil. So what's he hoping to do? What's he really hoping to do? Oh, look at that, 8 of Imps, which is like 8 of Wands reversed. So these are all his little demons, that he, obviously has helping him. But I do take this at the Wands, 8 of Imps is, normally with 8 of Imps or 8 of Wands, you'd have the flying through the air, news going out, posts going out. But you see here, they're like taking down the posts. These little arrows are like posts and comments online and media stories. And he's just taking them all down in excess of. I get it reversed. So he's behind a lot of the destruction going on. Like if I hadn't caught that video from TRG with the head of the police there, saying, Sadiq, you asked us to arrest a comedian. If I hadn't caught that, I would never have known Sadiq Khan was behind all these arrests, because you hear that these comedians are arrested, but you don't hear that, Sadiq Khan told the police to arrest them. So it's like one man behind all this. But the impression you get if you didn't know that is that, the police have gone crazy and they're just arresting people all over the place. But of course, that's probably the impression he wants to give you. But he's doing it. His craziness is coming out secretively with the moon reversed. He's trying to be as covert as possible. Sadiq doesn't want you to know that he's doing everything, or most of it, if not everything. He's behind it, one way or another. Sadiq Khan is behind all his arrests. Sadiq Khan is behind all the violence going on. Sadiq Khan's behind it all. One man in a powerful position, top-down tyranny. He's behind it. So he doesn't want people to know that. But it's coming out now. So how does Sadiq Khan see the people in general, the public? Wheel of Fortune. Well, major arcana, so he knows the people are powerful. It could take him out and stitch him up and whatever, hang him up to dry if they felt like it. So he is very intimidated and worried, I think, about the people and how they're going to react and what they're going to do. But you can see this in this particular Wheel of Fortune. You have a man who's strapped down, he's held down and imprisoned onto this wheel and being spun around. That's what Sadiq Khan is doing to the people. He's coming in by surprise, by stealth, and coming in and doing all these things and surprising people and keeping them spinning here and turning things upside down, right? And just flipping people around and ruining their lives, telling them they can't drive here, drive there, and et cetera, et cetera. You're gonna have a digital ID. I'm sure we'll be next. And he just wants to take people and just treat them like objects, to just force to do this and that, all this crazy nonsense, and flip their lives around and destroy their lives. So that's his main job. That's his main focus, is fingering around with the people and ruining their lives and keeping them uncertain of what's going to happen next. Because there's a lot of psychology behind what the globalists are doing. They want to keep you on edge. They want to keep you in fear. That's why it was all fear with COVID. Fear, because they can get to that reptilian brain and get people worried about their safety and fear, which is what's happening in London too, because of all the violence. And they can keep you in that lower level of worry about safety. Then you can't think logically. You can't think. Your brain just can't do it. Nobody's brain can. So that's why they're constantly doing the violence and the threats of arrest for a post. They want to keep you in fear so that you're not sitting back objectively and criticizing and critiquing and exposing what Sadiq Khan is actually doing. If people are too worried about being arrested for this or that, they don't have time to think. They can't, the brain can't handle life-death situations at the same time as critically, objectively, rationally observing, right? And that's another thing I heard, that the reason why news stories, like news reporters, talking heads on TV, the reason they talk so fast, it's always like a certain method of rhythm of talking that they have. We just take for granted that's the way they talk. They're ba 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 ba. That they do that on purpose, because if you talk at a certain rate like that, it bypasses people's rational thinking, so that you don't have time to say, wait, what did you just say? And you notice Meghan Markle does this. When she starts off on a rant with the microphone, she's like, well, blah, 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 and she doesn't shut up. And so it's not just that she blabbermouth and can't shut up. It's psychologically manipulating people, that if you keep talking nonstop and don't take a break and keep ba 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 ba, then people are able to stop and criticize and critique. They're just too overwhelmed by the amount of shotgun blathering. They do shotgun blathering, machine gun blathering. Anyways, I mentioned that. Came up recently. I saw another video I saw. Anyhow, so he hates people. He wants to turn their lives upside down. So how's it going to go next? 5 of Ghosts reversed. Oh my God. This is an excess of. Yeah, it's going to go from bad to worse. The death and destruction and horrifying events caused, the catastrophes, crimes against humanity caused by Sadiq Khan, his evil, is going to cause much, much more sadness and upset and destruction and just ruining of people's lives. And it's very sad that we have to deal with this kind of evil, this evil man. Yeah, so, it's minor arcana, so, I don't see catastrophe right away, but of course it's going to get worse. People are going to get more and more upset. And, people get upset, they'll start getting angry in the long term. 4 of Ghosts. And then there's this sort of blasé-ness. So, I see that he is, of course, going to be ignoring everybody's complaints. I see him up by himself. You see he's ignoring everybody around him, and his arms crossed, like closing everybody out. So I think that, eventually, he's just going to get more and more closed off and distant and more and more in his own mind, because he's totally brainwashed. He's totally, they cracked his brain open, and he's like possessed, brainwashed, however you want to look at it. So he has no feelings or emotions. He's just in his own little world, and he couldn't care less about anyone else, and he's not going to listen to anyone else. He doesn't care what death and destruction and pain and suffering he causes others. He's just going to continue isolating himself and doing what he wants to do. And as long as he's got the backing of the globalists, he's going to continue working towards the mission of the New World Order for the satanic globalists. Yeah, so he's programmed for this. He has no feelings or emotions. He's blasé about it. Couldn't care less. He's just doing his job. He's a RoboCop. He's a robot for all, practical purposes here, and never going to stop. And there's no reaching him. He's not human. It's like he's not human anymore. He's like totally demonic. And until he's gone, until you get rid of him, maybe this is him. Maybe eventually he'll be sitting in a prison cell. I don't know. But what he's doing cannot be legal. The way he's handling things and being so destructive. So is he gonna, now this may be him sitting it out because he's, taken out of power and then he's just sent away somewhere to go be isolated somewhere. Yeah, Knight of Imps. Well, there are going to be more, upsets and threats and attacks on him. Well, for bats, I mean, he is going to be either, I'm getting 4 and 4 and 4 here, being put to rest here one way or another. I don't necessarily see violence. I see him being pushed out of power for sure because everybody hates him. So I think he's going to be more and more isolated, and he's going to be more and more exposed for what he's doing. And, this is the warrior card, the retired warrior. You could look at it, or this is, of course, a not alive warrior as well. But again, I think that he's, people are just going to push him out. He just needs to be removed from power one way or another. And I do think that's, obviously going to happen. Yeah. So I was looking up 4/4s. Walks abroad. So 4/4 is about journeys, walking, things that are international, I would take it. Building that new world order. 4 is a number of stability, structure. That's what he's doing. He's trying to work towards that. His whole mission is, then this is a multi-generational mission, right? They keep building towards that 2030, 2045 agenda. And remember when King Charles started that clock for 2030, he was with Sadiq Khan. So very close friends there, just saying. Anyway, so there you have it. That is what I see for why Sadiq Khan is so evil. So I hope you found this interesting. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.